4, 3, 2, and 1. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the Project Egg Show. Today, we have the honor of speaking with Dr. Agostino Marengo, whose life in 3 lines is engineer because he loves airplanes and he likes flying, university professor because he loves young people because they can fly, and entrepreneur because he loves challenges because they allow him to fly. Now, Professor Agostino has done so many incredible things in his lifetime that I could not possibly capture that in this brief introduction. So without further ado, please put your digital hands together and help me welcome Professor Agostino. How you doing today?
Thank you. Thank you for having me today, Ben. I am so proud to be here, and I'm not shy to tell you that this is my first podcast interview, and I am happy to do it with you because you are a very interesting. Your transmission, your podcast is one of the most important, I think, and my favorite. So thank you for having me.
Well, thank you so much for being a part of the history and for choosing Project Egg to be your very first podcast. So thank you very much for that.
You're welcome. You're welcome. And it's true what I say. And as you said, I am what can I say? A multi-hyphened person, as you know. A multi-hyphened person is a person that has a lot of interests, and that's what I am now after 51 years of life. So I am 51. I am old, and since 1 year and a half, I have my son, so I feel so young because I am starting a new life. And my main hat is being a university professor in Bari University. Bari is in Italy, is in the south east part of Italy. We have a lot of very nice sea, very nice weather, and it's a good place to stay, to live, and also to come for vacation. And this is my place. I will not move from here, but during the year I used to traveling a lot because of my profession and my job. And as a university professor, I am willing to let other people grow. This is my idea. A lot of years ago, I think 25 years ago, this was 1994 when I started to teach. In 25 years, my belief is that I am happy to let others grow, and this is what I am doing from years. And right now, since 2 years ago, I started to do it online. So, as I am an engineer, as I am a university professor, and above all, as I am an entrepreneur, I love to let others blossom, to let others grow. Because as I am an entrepreneur, I call myself a romantic entrepreneur. A romantic entrepreneur is someone who suffers from corporate romanticism. I don't know if I am clear, but I am in love with my company. I am in love with people inside my company because it is the third startup I have made. And this one, since 10 years ago, is the most important I have. And it's an e-learning startup. We work with the big companies to teach, to train their employees for a lot of topics. And it is, above all, an innovative company. And it is an innovative company because we bet on human resource. We bet on each one of them. They are 20 people, 20 persons. And I know each one of them, and I want each one of them will grow inside the company, because if they grow, the company grows. And that's true also for me, because I strongly believe, I genuinely believe that if I help people to grow, I will grow with them. I will grow myself. And this is the best thing I can do in my life, because I think the goal of everyone in the world must be to leave something to others, to leave a legacy to others, a legacy related to whatever we can do, whatever we have, whatever we are good to offer to others. That's why this is interesting. This is, if you think it's very weird, but I don't know if you know Gary Vaynerchuk. He says that we are the grandparents of our nephews or grandnephews, etc. But we are now the patriarchs of our grandnephew. Why we are the patriarchs? Because in 100 of years, 200s, 300s, they will be able to view our videos, our podcasts, to listen our podcasts, to view our Instagram images and the posts and the stories. They will be able to do it, to know us, to know our way to talk, our willing, our beliefs. And it's incredible to think about it. Don't you know? Don't you think?
Absolutely. Absolutely,
yes,
I do.
Because
because we can document history now in a way that has never been done before.
Yes, I mean, I remember my grandfather. His name was Mario, and but I don't remember exactly his voice or the way he was talking. I remember the stories, but I don't know anything about his father. But my grandnephew and grandnephew will see me talking. It's incredible. So I think that we have to leave a legacy. We have to leave something to not only to our nephews, but also to everyone. We can do a lot in our little things we are involved. So we are involved. So it's important to me to work and live with this idea. This is why my motto in everything I do is live like your future self is watching you. So you can live thinking that your future self, when you are 24 now, right?
Uh-huh.
Okay, if you think that your Ben at 90 years old is watching it and thinking that you were very good at 24 because you were running a podcast, etc., or whatever you do. You do a lot of things, and I know. So this helps me to do my better during my day because I want my future self to be proud of me. This is I think very important. So today I'm spending almost all my time investing in people and helping them to grow. I genuinely believe that if they will grow, if one of my students will grow and be better in his life, I think that I will be better myself. I have a lot of students, 25 years of teaching. I had a lot of students, and a lot of them, a huge number of them are managers, entrepreneurs, and they used to call me or send me emails telling me what they are doing. And I think this is the bigger salary for a professor, to know that they are thinking about you when they are living their lives, but they come back to you to tell you, hey, prof, I'm happy because today I'm a chief salesman or CFO of Pirelli or something. I am proud of them, so I'm proud of myself. This is why, how can I say, I started 2 years ago to think about leave a legacy in a bigger way, in a bigger point of view, and give my experience. I'm not a life coach or what. I'm just a professor. I have experience in project management, entrepreneurship, self-awareness, self-improvement. This is what can I leave to them. And so I started to grow my Instagram account because in social media marketing, Instagram is extremely underpriced, and to grow on Instagram is very easy if you have something to tell people. If you give them very good content, they will follow you. It's just a matter of content, the quality of content, and the consistency. So I started to be consistent on Instagram, and I was growing. My profile was growing. Now I have, I think, 35,000 followers. But it's not the number of followers; it's the quality you give them. If you think that you want to reach a lot of followers, you will never reach good followers or engaged followers. If you think that you want to give them something that it's good for you, but you don't know if it's good for them, you will try. And the market is this way now. It's not before internet. It's strange. The market was driven by what big companies were willing to do. So if a big company wanted to sell you, I don't know, this case, they started to bombard you, to give you a lot of publicity or a lot of marketing things to let you buy this thing. But now you can compete with big companies. Also, if you are a little company, also if you are just a person without a lot of budget with you, because I think internet, um, also if internet has a lot of bugs, etc., as you know, internet is good because it gives the possibility to everyone to give something to others, and in this way is the best democracy we can live in. And so I was happy because a lot of people were starting to follow me and were starting to ask me about pieces of advice. So I started to help them for free, and it is right now very, very, very good for me. I love it. I love it. And so I started to think about something much more, how can I say, strategic for them, much more useful for them. How can I say, if you, oh, nice car. Louisiana, I will go there. Never been.
You should come visit.
Yeah, sure. I started to think that if you take a look around in internet, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, etc., a lot of people start to tell others, you have to get out of your comfort zone, for example. But they don't tell them how. They don't tell them what's is there a recipe? Is there a strategy? How can they get out of their comfort zone? How? So I started to think about it, because when you want to give I don't know, when you want to give something, when you want to communicate to others, you start to tell them you have to live out of your comfort zone, get out of your comfort zone. But if you stop for a second to think about that phrase, it means nothing if you don't give them a strategy to do it. This is very, very important. And if you want to think about a strategy, that is not for everybody. You have to give your experience in that. So if it's true that everyone can tell, get out of your comfort zone, not everyone can tell how. Not everyone can tell, this is the strategy you can use to do it. Also, if there is not a strategy for everybody. But I think there will be a main way, a main path you can show others to choose, to follow. And then you can see, I don't know, you can do your best to do it. And so I was starting to think about my, what I call future self-proud strategy or future self-proud method. It's like a focus on the inner voice inside, and start think in like you have to take action for what you want to do. So there is, I don't know if you agree with me, but there is a strange thing. People think that you have to be motivated to reach some goals. And this is not true in my point of view. Why it's not true? Because if you want the motivation inside of you to reach your goals, you never will find it, because it's the opposite. You have to think in reverse engineering. Reverse engineering. If we try to think in reverse engineering, to find motivation, you have to find your passion. What's your passion? I have passion in dogs, for example, okay? I have this passion, but passion is not enough because I like dogs. I like dogs walking, running, jumping. Okay. I like, I don't know which kind of dogs. Okay. But if you have this passion, it's a good starting, but it's not enough. Because when you have your passion, you have to think about what goal you can reach with your passion. If it is a real passion, you know everything about dogs, how to feed them, how to educate them. You know everything. So, from your passion, you can choose a goal in your life or for a time. That, I don't know, but you can choose a goal. When you choose a goal, you know what you want to do in your life because the goal is the extreme inspiration of your passion.
Well, it gives you something to aim for. It gives you like an actual target to go towards instead of just saying, oh, I'm very passionate and fired up about this. And I have this deep love for something, but that doesn't give you any direction. It doesn't give you the ability to hone in on something and move towards that. So I agree with you completely. I do.
Exactly. And thank you because your English is better than mine. So thank you for doing this.
Professor, I have a question for you.
Agostino, please.
Augustine, I have a question for you. We've talked about letting others grow and leaving a legacy and how you've been wearing many different hats, right? And I want to drill into the first two, but I'm really interested in learning, how did you get to where you are now? In other words, what is your story?
My story, thank you. It's a good question. Okay, my story is very strange because I, as you said, I like airplanes. I like to fly, but and this is my passion when I was a child. This was my passion when I was a child. And when I finished my high school, I started the college in engineering because it was my passion. But as I said, a passion is not a goal. And I started to learn that if you have a passion, you have to set up a goal. And I was 18, so I didn't have a goal, and my studies were not good. I was not a good student in the early college because I had not a goal. I was thinking about airplanes, like know the airplanes, but not studying about the mechanics of the airplanes. So algebraic, so the physics, so a lot of things. So after 2 years, I went to the army because as Steve Jobs said, you have to I don't know, the dots. You have to
connect the dots.
Connect the dots. Sorry, connect the dots. And I'm telling you my dots. The first dot was that I was very passionate about the airplane, but not a good student. And the second dot is that I was not a good student, so I went to the army. I was an officer in the army. It was nice for 2 years. And there, when I was an officer, I started to teach my soldiers about the airplanes because we were in the fire aviation. So you had to be able to recognize the airplanes. So I started to teach, and I was thinking, I like to teach. This is a good thing. I like it. I like when people know something I told them. So I came back after 2 years of army and started to study a lot about engineering, and I graduated as mechanical engineer, and I was a mechanical engineer, but I didn't like it so much and started to study informatics because I wanted to become a professor in informatics. So if you, in Italy, if you want to be a professor in informatics, you have to do the doctorate, and then you have to be a researcher and a professor, etc. So I started this path, and I was very proud of myself when I became a professor in informatics. But I didn't like it because when you reach your goals, you want to do something else. And so there was my rector that told me, Agostino, you have a very big competence, a very big skill in teaching online. So why don't you build up a company, a startup on this topic? And I didn't know anything about entrepreneurship. It was 2000, early in the early century, 2000, I think 2001. And I said, well, I don't know. I never been an entrepreneur. So I was waiting for it for some years. And in 2009, I started my first startup company. Osel Consulting was the name. And we made some e-learning stuff. And I liked it because I studied to be an entrepreneur, because you can't be an entrepreneur without having basic skills on management, project management, I don't know, human resource management. You have to think about it. And the most important skill you need to have to be an entrepreneur is running a business, managing your emotions. Because when you are an entrepreneur, as I think you know, there is one day you have very happy because something went good, but the day after was not. So
it's like an emotional roller coaster.
Stressing. Yes, yes. It's like I don't know. It's incredible. And this, for me, this is the energy. So I started this one, and I started another two companies, and I like to be an entrepreneur. So I was an engineer, I was a professor, and an entrepreneur. And when you connect the dots at 51 years old, you start to think what I can give to others. And this is my story, because the first company was very bad because I was not able, I made a lot of mistakes. But the good thing is that when you make mistakes, you grow. When you make mistakes, you can learn about mistakes. A lot of people think that when you make mistakes, you are stupid, you are, I don't know, you are not able to do what you have to do. But if you did it with passion, you know what your goals are, and when you do mistakes, it means that that's not a way, but you have to do it in another way. And that's what
it's like life's self-correcting mechanism.
Yes, yes, yes. It's just, you have to say, I am a human. So I can fail, and if I fail, I grow. And that's what I learned about entrepreneurship. And I'm still an entrepreneur. My company is a big company, not a big company, but 20 people. It's a good company, I think. We work with very big company like Sky. I don't know if you know Sky, Telecom, Vodafone, big company. Valentino Fashion or Fendi Fashion are our clients. So it's good. And I was starting to think about me as an entrepreneur and not a professor. So if you ask me what you are, I don't know what I am. I am what life as was given me until now, but I don't know tomorrow. And that's good because if you have your goal, it's like a star, but you have to enjoy the path to reach the star, the path, not the goal itself. The goal itself has no meaning. The path is the real life in the end, and it's the real energy for you. And this is why I started to think that millennials, like you are, need to understand this, because your generation is this strange generation. You have a lot of strength. You are the most tech generation in the workplace now, the most technological skilled generation. You have a lot of power in yourself, but you don't know. You don't know because when my students leave the university in which I am now and go out, they want to reach a big money, big salary in a short time. They want to be paid for because they were in the school and in the university for a lot of years. So I am out of university. I want you to pay me, but it's not good, because my advice to them is, if you want to be a good entrepreneur, a good manager, a good employee, you have to start with nothing. You have to start for free if you want, working for someone you choose as a mentor or as a good personality. You want to be a dog sitter, you want to be, I don't know, an engineer, start working for someone you admire and learn, and then start something with a better skill inside of you, and start your journey to your goal. And your generation don't want to do this. They ask me, Professor, how can I start my own company? What you want to do? I ask them, what you want to do? And they say, I want to do an entrepreneur. What does it mean? It means nothing at all. And this is why your generation is a generation after my generation, and we gave your generation a lot of things without any strategy inside. So you have a lot, but you don't know that it's important to use the things you have. So it's important for millennial generation to take conscience that you are the most important generation in this world, and you have to start acting like this. You have to be more aware about yourself. And this is another thing you don't have. Self-awareness is nothing for you. You are not self-aware. You don't believe in yourself. You are not, because you don't think you need it. And if someone of you is self-aware about himself, is a winner. I think self-awareness is a very good skill now in your generation. And the other skill, I think, is happiness. Because if you do something with happiness, it means that you do that thing with your passion. And as I said, when you have your passion, you have your goals, and you can start to plan in that vision of your goal. You plan your journey, Okay. And then the next step is to act, to work hard on it. And this is the final thing is not clear for uh, for a lot of things, a lot of people, because when you have a goal, you plan, I want to go there and I have to do this. But after you have to work hard on it. You have to do. You have to do. You don't have, they are overthinking about everything because they want to be perfect. They want to do something in the best way. If not, they don't start to do it. And this is not the truth, because if you overthink, if you wait until you are not able to do it at the best, you will never start. And I think you know this because you are very good doing what you do. And I don't think you started with everything you wanted. You can start with what you have, but work hard on it. Work hard on it because your path is planned, but now you have to work hard on it. For
You know,
example,
you know what's interesting about that? Now, today, I have a studio with lights, a microphone, you know, a whole professional setup with a mixer and a backdrop and all that. But I've been doing this for almost 3 years now. When I first started, July 27th of 2016 was when I published my very first episode. When I first started, all I had was my laptop, and all I did was record audio with the internal speaker of the laptop. And that audio quality was awful. It was terrible. But the content was good because I tried, and the core of it was there, but all the extra stuff, it just didn't matter. What mattered, in my opinion, was really getting the story and really learning about the individual. So I agree with you 100%. And I definitely
100%.
not start with everything.
Yes, yes. And if you want to finish my connection of the dot, my last dot, I will never reach, but this is the first time I say this, but I want to tell this to you because the empathy we have. And my goal, my final goal is to buy the Bocconi University. You know what Bocconi University in Italy is a very incredible university in Italy, in Milan. Milan is in the north part of Italy. This is a big private university, very nice. The best students in Italy are from Bocconi University. It's not a state university, but it's a private university. And I was starting to dream about buy the Bocconi University to manage this great potential of minds in there. And this is a good goal for me because if I have this goal, I have planned my path to reach this goal. I don't know, maybe I will never reach this goal, but it's important for me to have a goal and to reach it. And this is my goal. This is my goal, and I strongly believe that a lot of my colleagues will be proud listening to me, but others will laugh listening that a professor from University of Bari, a state university, wants to buy Bocconi University, but this is self-awareness. This is when you believe in yourself, you don't mind about the others. And this is another chapter I want to talk with you. The insecurity of a lot of people, above all, a lot of people in your generation, the insecurity about the judgment of others other judgment is incredible. How much we give to others, people that we don't like, that we hate, but we give them the possibility to drive our life because we are afraid of their judgment. It's incredible. It's like I give another person that I don't like the power to drive my life. That if you, I think when you were at school and your professor started to ask the class a question, a lot of students don't raise their hand because they are afraid they can be, the others can laugh at them, or they can start to do something wrong. And this is incredible because this way you can't live your life. You live others, and you put others above yourself. You put others' opinion most important than your own opinion. And that, if you think about it, it's incredible. It's incredible. And a lot of, and this is another thing that Gary Vaynerchuk says, that we we started to. He says that we start to buy useless things just to build our image.
Impress the people that don't matter.
We want to impress the people. And this is incredible. We work 9 to 5 and we are used to buying this stuff just to impress them.
And I'll tell you this too. And this is my own philosophy that I've developed on this same topic, that when you are worried about what other people think, like to an extreme, to an unhealthy extreme, you're going to put forth effort to create an image of yourself that is not actually who you are. So you're creating like this other persona that you think other people want you to be like. Okay. Yes. There are a few problems with that. Okay. That's a very flawed way of doing things, because one, you're putting forth effort towards creating this, this facade. Okay. Look, I'll tell you this, being an entrepreneur is hard enough. Okay. Be like understanding the whole game of life and going through and like having goals and achieving them and being that's hard enough. Why would you waste all of this energy trying to do this other thing that doesn't matter? So that's the first thing, right? But then let's say you do it. Let's say you pull that off, okay, and you create this facade. Then other people are the ones that are going to be attracted to you are going to be attracted to the facade because that's the only thing that you're showing them. Okay. So then when inevitably you get tired of putting up this facade and then you go back to who you really are, which there's going to be a lot of confusion that you're going to have internally. Because you're like, oh, I've been putting up this facade, but that's not who I really am. And you're going to be very conflicted. But once you decide yes, that's not worth it, right, and that facade crumbles, then the people who were your friends or your significant other, your wife, your husband, your boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever, there's a chance that they're not going to like you anymore because you sold them on this facade, but that's not really you because you're over here and that's over here. So that's just a route to extreme disaster that it may not seem like in the moment, but like months or years down the road, you're going to seriously regret. That's my philosophy on it.
Yes, I think you're right, 100%. I agree with you 100% because this is our society distortion of the view of the society. And the worst thing is that when you have a fake facade, you think that you are that one, not this one. You think that you are that one. And this is very weird. This is weird. And I, coming back to my thinking, I think that if we can do something um, to give them something to be better, we have to do it, because my generation is the main problem of your generation. So if we can give you something better, to be better, we have to do it as a legacy for you, for my child, for my daughter and my son, and for all the other people. So I started to think about a strategy, and I have called my future self proud method or strategy, and is a method in 6 steps. And as I told you, the first step is that you have to believe in your possibilities. The self-improvement, accountability, self-awareness, self-confidence are skills that a lot of us does not have, does not manage, and it is important to have. So the step one of my method is about believing in ourselves. The step two is related, and is that you have to close with your past. And this is another big idea, big thinking. If you think that we what we think today, what we are today, is because we were something, we was doing something in the past. But we have to forget that past, because we are not them. We are a new person now, and tomorrow we are another person, because our experience. But a lot of people don't close with the past and live in the past. And this way that they don't grow, and they don't, step three, invent themselves for something new. Because we talk a lot about innovation for companies, no? An innovative company is a good company because they are strong in their market. If I have an innovative company, I have a company that can save a lot in the world. So think about Apple and Nokia. You know, Nokia didn't innovate its products because they don't realize the importance of the smartphones. So they died because they were not innovative. If we translate it to a person, to our personal environment, if you don't innovate yourself, you will die. You will die not in the real self, but you will die because you have nothing to tell to the world. And the step 4 is that if you want to give something to the world, the first question you have to answer is why you want to do it, why you want to do what you have to do. There is a very good man that I admire, is Simon Sinek. You know, Simon is his speech had a lot of millions of views, and it's start with why. And he says a very good thing. I always think for myself, you have to start with, a lot of people start with what they do. No? If you ask yourself who you are going to tell them, I am a student, I am an engineer, I am a professor. But why you do it, you don't know why you are doing it. Why you are an engineer, why you are a professor, why? So if you think as a reverse engineering, you have first to ask yourself why you are doing it, why you are working 9 to 5, because you want to enjoy your family. Okay, it's a good why. Okay, but if your why is I want to be a single entrepreneur in the Maldives, and you are working nine to five in your office, you are not happy.
Out of alignment.
Happiness, yes, happiness is the ROI of life. The return on investment of life is happiness. So you have to find your why. When you have your why, as I said, you have a goal. Then you have to plan the goal. Step number 6, you have to work hard on it. Hard on it. And this is the missing piece of our community, our generation and your generation, because I can't think I want to do it, as I said, and I don't do anything to do it. It's a very strange thing. So that's my story. I think that in some years, 20, 30 years, when you will be a different person, you will be a father, or you will be a big entrepreneur, or you will be an employee, etc. In 20, 30 years, you will turn back and look at your that young yourself, and you need to tell him, okay, I like you because you were acting good. You were failing, but failing, it's not the problem. The problem is not doing. The problem is doing what others tell us, and this is not good.
So I want to dig into what you were talking about as the purpose of life, right? Leaving behind a legacy. It seems, based on what we've been talking about, that it's a very clear path to understand, based on everything you've been talking about and your way of thinking. It's clear to see that your purpose is to leave behind a legacy, to help others grow, let others grow, and to show them how to do these things, and to inspire them, and to just help people, right? And to help bring them up, and to leave a legacy of doing so, and looking back in 30, 40, 50 years and being proud of the person that you are today. How did you come to the conclusion that leaving behind a legacy is the ultimate purpose of life?
How I became, because I don't think, I'm not a religious man, so I don't think that I have to do something for the religion. Also, if I am Christian, like a lot of people in Italy, but I like all the religions. Religions is good, but I'm not a religious man, and so I thought that I have to find a purpose that is not the purpose to wake up in the morning and go to work and eat something and play tennis or go to the sea, swing. There must be another thing. There must be an higher level as a game. No, you need to find the level up, the up level of your life. And for me, is this one, but for another person could be, I don't know, going in Africa to help those people, and I don't know, a lot of things. But I think you have to search for it. You have to search, and I can't tell you when you will have this idea, but when you have the idea, I assure you that you will do your best to do it, to reach it, to work for it, because it gives you a meaning. I don't know. I can die tomorrow. I can die tomorrow, but I want to be sure that my life has had a meaning. This is the real thing in life. We have to find our meaning. And for me, my meaning is that I want to live something. But I lived a lot of things because I have seen a lot of places and a lot of people. But it has not to stay in my memories. I want to give to others. But this is in my little world. What can I do?
It's interesting.
This one.
That's very interesting. You know, not too long ago, I did a lot of self searching. I'm constantly doing that, but I remember, I think it was 2 Sundays ago, I sat down and I got this big roll of paper, and I just took a pen and I started writing, and I wanted to identify what my own philosophy was on life. And I figured, what better way than to write it out, figure it out, see what happens. So I started writing and writing and writing. And I mean, there were pages and pages and pages. And after all my analysis of breaking down every single point down, you know, breaking it down to the core to where I could not go any deeper, and then bringing it back to, you know, what the most overarching theme was, and just going through. I mean, it was an incredible exercise to go through, right? And after hours and hours of writing, what I came to discover was that my purpose is to partake in and constantly undergo a journey of self-discovery, and to constantly learn more about myself in order to find out who I really am at my core, and to fundamentally understand myself at the deepest level. And it was such a liberating discovery, because from there, I now have this foundation of power with which to move forward from and to build upon. And it's interesting how you're talking about legacy, because I feel that unless you know who you are, or at least you have an inkling, maybe you have a guess, it's hard to really know what legacy you want to create. So it seems like they're very intertwined, and I'm not entirely sure I understand the relationship completely, but I wanted to get your thoughts on that, and hear what you have to say about that.
Yeah, I agree 100% with you. Then you don't seem to be a 24 young guy. You have a philosophy in your life, and this is good thing to start. And if you think that a lot of your millennial generation colleagues don't even start to write down something, they don't even stop to think that they have to do it. And finding our purpose in life is liberating, is a freedom, And I think you are right. And it is a pleasure to meet you in person today. It's a real pleasure for me.
Yes, sir. I feel the exact same way. And you know, I want to thank you for coming onto the interview, and
My pleasure.
for sharing this time with me. It's truly been an honor. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. It was my pleasure, and it is very interesting, this new world of podcasts in which you are one of the born stars. And good luck to you. Good luck. Be your best.
Thank you, sir. I actually have a couple more questions for you, then we'll wrap it on up. One of the things that I believe is a bedrock of humanity is connection on many different layers. Connection with yourself, connection with others, connection between others that you're not a part of. I'm interested in learning your philosophy on developing deep, meaningful, and genuine connection with another human being.
My philosophy, that I don't think I have a philosophy. I think I am a pragmatic person. And I know that if you network with others, it is a winning choice, because it's a winning choice because if you are able to do something, other people can surround you to do that thing in a better way, and in a different way. If I was starting my company, my first company, alone, it was for sure a nightmare. But I founded some friends now, but colleagues at the time, that were opening my eyes and telling the same truth in another point of view, and you have the possibility to learn from them. Also, if they are younger than you, there is the co-founder now of my new company, that is Alessandro. It was a student of mine, graduated with me, and he is a very wise person. Also, he is 35 now, but I met him 10 years ago. So he was like you are. And I believe in Alessandro because he was telling me things in a different way. And we were learning each other. So networking is a learning connection. The connection gives you the possibility to be better because you learn from others. You learn what you already know in a different way. This is incredible. And networking, now we are living in this big network as internet is, and we still don't know how to use it. Every one of them that is telling you that they know how to do, I don't know, social media marketing or how to do a lot of things on the internet. They don't know anything because there is no science proved on this. And the only thing we can do is networking, because a piece of mind with a piece of you can do something much more than the sum of the pieces. And this is networking, but I'm not inventing anything. It's true. This is the truth. And I find that also, if there are a lot of people shy in the real world, in internet they are not shy. This is a bad thing because we know a lot of bad things. But in the good way, if you can express yourself without being shy, it's good. And if you can network on the internet, also if you are shy, you have the possibility to be better. And this is good for a lot of people, for everybody.
What is your greatest theory?
greatest theory. The greatest theory. It's there is not a greatest theory because if you tell others I know the answer, you are telling not the truth. You are telling a lie because nobody nobody can tell us what to do because we are all different. So if I have a receipt for me, there are a lot of books. It's a good question. There are a lot of books. My morning receipt, you have to wake up at 5 o'clock and then meditate and then do this and then go to running. And then you can go to work. If I do this, I will die because I can wake up at 5 in the morning. But because a recipe good for you is not good for me, and vice versa. And if someone tell us that there is a recipe, big theory, if you do this, you will win, is a liar. And is, I think, not a good person because he's doing it just for money or for something. And we know that money, I think that money is not a good goal to reach. You don't have to do it for money because money gives you exactly this. You search for something to make money. So I will build up a receipt to tell them to sell them and then have my money, but it's the wrong path, the wrong goals. There is no passion behind it. I don't think. So I think every one of us can do his best to leave something to others. Just the thing that it's his best, it's a good thing. But his best can be a little thing or a big thing. It doesn't matter, but it's the best. I do my best to give others, but I have no receipt. I can help. I help. I think 20 or 30 of my clients today, and it's a huge work because I teach at the university. I have my company. But I think I am doing a good work with them because they are growing. Most of all, they are Indians and Americans and Europeans. Also one from Egypt. And this gives me a good energy. But every one of them is different. There are a lot of different cultures, a lot of different goals, a lot of different structure in the society. So you can't give others one philosophy, one recipe to do the best in their life. The good thing is to give them what's the best from you, and then they will do what they can with this.
Is there anything about yourself that you think is an important part of who you are that I did not ask you about today? In other words, what did I miss?
Did you miss? Well, you are a very good interviewer, and you can't know everything about about my life. The thing that you missed, I think I missed it, not telling you that but I have a lot of passions. But if I talk about my passion, I go out of this way. But one passion I want to tell you, and my main passion now is my family. and I didn't believe it because I told you my son has 1.5 years now. And before that, before my family has 6 or 7 years now. But before, I never thought about I want a child, I want a son or a daughter, and I was never thinking about a family. And when I was finding someone good for my family and a good person to build a family with, it was changing all my life because I was reaching the calm, the serenity inside because I have my family that loves me. I do it for my family. I do everything I do for my family. And this is a changing of rules in the game. And I think that because we are afraid when we are young like you, we are afraid, oh, well, I don't want a son, I don't want a child right now because my life will be ruined, will be stopped, will be cracked. But it's the opposite because your family gives you the strength to do. So if I have to tell you about my passion, something you missed, but it's not your fault. It's my family. Elisabetta, my wife, and Ettore, my son, are my strength. This is true. This is true.
So we've talked about me being 24 years old,
Yeah.
and that's very relevant to the question I'm about to ask. But what question or questions should I be asking you, specifically me, asking specifically you with your knowledge, your wisdom, your experience, that I just wouldn't think to ask?
You can ask me. I think that the best mentor is someone who gives you the safe, the something you can drink in your brain. And so I think that a mentor is open to his students. And the more you are open, the more they will ask you. And is from them. And they, if you give them, if you tell them, I will give you the best, they will act like a river, drinking in the river. They will drink what they want, and it's good if you are the best river in the world. This is a sentence I have to write down. I want to write down. So you can ask your mentor whatever you want because it is your mentor because you have chosen him, not the contrary. The mentor is not choosing their students. It's the students is choosing the mentor. So if you choose your mentor, you know what you want to ask him. You know what you need. The mentor doesn't. The mentor knows about himself, about his experiences, his skills, etc. And he can do the best to answer your questions. But you know what your questions are. You know. And the challenge for me is to answer the questions. This is the problem.
Well, Agostino, I want to thank you so much for coming on the show and
Ben, it was
sharing
a
this
pleasure
time.
for me. 100%.
So
Thank
thank
you
you very
much.
much.
Thank
And to everybody who's watching, listening, I want to thank y'all for being a part of the show. I want to thank y'all for supporting the show and for sticking with us all the way till the end here. I love y'all very, very much. And can't wait to see y'all in the next time. So with that being said, thank you again, Augustine.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Ben.
I'll see y'all on the next episode.